Good morning, everyone. Today, with the history being developed on behalf of the Mirboo North District Historical Society, I have the great opportunity to interview Charlie and Grace Adamo, who are going to share with us their knowledge through their father and mother, Tony and Maria, of how the Italian community first came and settled in Mirboo North, and the type of work and experiences and adventures and community events that the Italians have such a strong connection here in Mirboo North. So I'd like to introduce you to certainly Grace and Charlie, and thank you very much for your time.
Very welcome, thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, I'd like to start this interview probably before you were born.
Thank you.
And I'd like to be able to gain from you a knowledge, we would like to know, about your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are many stories in Mirboo North about the strong support and, if you like, assistance that your parents and others played in bringing a lot of Italian families to our district and Border Gippsland, but let's concentrate on Mirboo North. So could you please, let's work through your parents, where they were born, the movement over to Australia, to Victoria, to Mirboo North, how they settled in and the things that they then did. So take it away, guys.
Well, actually, Dad was the first to come out of both of them. He came out in 1925, November the 2nd. Yep. So it's just been 100 years gone since he came out.
Right.
He came out with his older brother Angelo. Dad was 18-ish and Uncle Ange was 20.
Can I interrupt?
Go on.
Dad had his Uncle Sebastian was already here.
Yep.
So Uncle Sebastian was here, Uncle John was here. Uncle Sebastian came about 1920. Uncle John followed maybe the year later.
Were they in Mirboo North?
No.
They were
To Australia. Oh, sorry, sorry.
So
That's okay, that's good to know. So your father came across
and,
in
I did ask
25,
in 1925,
but he
November.
already had two brothers here.
Yep.
Three brothers here, right.
And I did ask Dad, I said, so what did you guys come out for? He said, oh, we only meant to come out for 6 months. I said, why the heck 6 months? He said, well, we heard there was that much gold lying around in Ballarat. We were going to go there with a bag each, fill it up with gold, go home and be rich.
Right.
And I said, how did that work out? He said, there was a lot of bloody rocks mixed in with it. And he never went back home. Uncle Ange did. Dad didn't. He stayed and worked doing menial jobs, mainly just for tucker and board.
Yep.
And he said at one place that he stayed, he was there for 6 months. He never got paid, but he got fed and he had board in an old shed. And then when he learned to speak a little bit of English, he asked the boss, could I get paid? And the boss said, well, the road's down there, get going.
That was it.
That was it.
But he had his good basis of learning.
But he had
English.
a base, he'd learned a little bit of English.
Okay.
And so he followed mainly potato picking, planting, whatever he could get a hold of.
Okay. So your father came out, and your father came from Sicily.
Yes, Ligud. Sorry,
town.
Ligurdia.
Ligurdia.
Okay. And then he was out here from 25 through, and your mother?
1939.
1939.
She came pre-war.
Yep.
Her father was already here.
Yes.
My nonno was here. He came 1927. He left his wife and 6 kids back in Italy. He would send money home when he could, but then the depressions hit, and they were really, really struggling. They were really struggling. I was struggling back in Italy. They were struggling here, and it wasn't until 1939 he had got enough money. 1938, sorry, got enough money together for the fare for the boys, the 3 boys, to come to Australia.
Yep.
And they would work hard, and then they'd bring out the ladies.
Right.
They got here. Oh, sorry, excuse me. They 1939 with the war kicked over. Brian. It turned 1939. One of the boys had to go and do his national service.
Yes.
The tickets were already paid for, so Mum came in his place, very reluctantly.
Well, she didn't want to leave her mother,
Yeah.
and her mother insisted, look, the boys back there need a woman to help washing, mending, cooking, whatever, and you'll provide a little bit of assistance.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be with you as soon as the war's over. It
Well,
can't
even
last
before
very
the
long.
war.
Well, the war hadn't started, but there was rumours that something was
Yeah,
happening.
okay.
And so as soon as we can, we'll be there. We'll all be one family. Yeah. So Mum came over.
So your
She
mother was also from Sicily.
Yes.
How?
Mum was from Solarino, the Germano.
Solarino.
The Germano family from Solarino.
Okay.
Well, one thing about if
So
I
your
could
mother
just
was a Germano.
Yep.
Got that.
Now, Dad had met his future father-in-law many times in his travels.
Yep.
Because they'd all look for work. There weren't many Italians. Oh, you're from Italy. Where are you from? You know, where are you going? I'm going to Ballarat, the potato picking, or I'm going to wherever, Gembrook or wherever. So they knew each other. And so he'd already met his future father-in-law. And then Mum turned up and Dad heard that this young eligible lady had turned up, and he knew the father, and father's a good bloke, so she must be all right. And then there was a wedding on in Gembrook, and Dad was a groomsman on the bride's side, and Mum was a bridesmaid on the groom's side. And I said to Mum, oh, so you met Dad there, did you? Very impertinent bloke. Why, what did he do? Mum was very, very straight-laced on me,
Yeah.
straight-laced. He said he had the audacity to come up to me and say, young lady, they tell me that you know how to sew well. Do you think you could make me a little vest? And she said, I was mortified. How dare he talk to me like that?
Okay.
She's very straight.
Very straight.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that somehow, in amongst vest making, their romance started.
A connection.
Connection
Yes.
started.
A traditional Italian courtship, very highly supervised, very proper.
Okay. So, hence the reason why you can't talk to me directly. You've got to go
Exactly.
through a third
Father,
party.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And chaperoned, I'd imagine.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And the family strongly influenced the
Oh,
outcome.
yes. Well, Mum, of course, then he went to visit his future father-in-law and
Yeah.
he said,
Ask
look,
him.
I really'd like to get to know your daughter better and marriage in mind. And he said, I will talk to my daughter, and he did. Mum was rather reluctant for the simple reason that she was still waiting for her mum to come home and
Yes.
the rest of the thing. I can't do this without Mum. And Grandpa said to him, look, I have known him for quite a few years. He's a very good worker and you will never want for anything.
And there you go.
There you
There
go.
you go.
And what year were your parents?
1943.
1943.
During the war, they were married in Pakenham.
The little church is still there. It's been empty for years.
St
but
Joseph, yeah, on the highway.
yeah, beautiful.
was a
Oh, the
highway.
old highway,
Yeah, married in Pakenham. It was during the war. Dad twisted a few arms, and they had alcohol. They had beer,
Yeah, okay.
which was probably naughty, but yeah.
Probably homemade too.
But they were living at they were living between Catani, or Mum was living between Catani and Dad in the Gembrook area,
Right.
and then I think they settled around Gembrook, Cockatoo,
Okay.
that area.
So young married couple
Yes,
obviously moved to Mirboo North
eventually,
eventually.
1940, maybe 1945, early 45.
Or early 45.
In-
So the war had just finished, or was
The
it
war was still going
still going?
because
then?
they were still, is the word enemy aliens?
Right.
They had their card, they had to report in, they couldn't go anywhere. It was strictly, so maybe it might have been 44 then they were there, but it was
Right.
strictly supervised.
Okay. So
Well, one thing about it, Dad sort of got out of being put in an internment camp for the simple reason he had made friends with someone who ended up being a captain in the army.
Right.
And he said to him, Tony, there's a war coming. If I was you, I'd get naturalised as quick as possible. So he tried, but it was already too late.
Yep.
So he said, look, the only way you're going to keep out of a camp is one, keep your mouth shut and grow food for the army. So Dad started growing Swedes and turnips for the army. I don't know what the heck they did with them, but obviously they ate them.
Yep.
And that's how he kept out of trouble.
Okay, so he was earning his keep.
He was earning
and
his keep. Yes.
he was deemed more important.
Yes, 'cause
not in internment camp.
Yep.
Okay.
However, he pre-war he put a deposit on a farm near him south
Yes.
and had bought a car. And then because the war has broken out, he's lost his farm.
Yep.
And
Didn't even get his deposit back.
Okay.
and had to give the car to his brother, who was naturalised.
Okay. So because he wasn't naturalised and he was on that permit, if you like, for want of a better word, he couldn't even own a car.
No, he was restricted.
He's restricted. So, children,
Yes.
what years?
Oh, goodness. I know my own birthday.
Yeah.
Oldest.
Come on, go. Turn to your sister.
No,
She'll
well,
know.
Connie first, the
Our
eldest.
eldest sister Connie,
Yep.
1945.
Yep.
We were all born here,
Mirboo North.
Mirboo North
In
Hospital,
Mirboo North.
Bush Nursing Hospital. Yeah.
Bush Nursing Home. So, okay, let's now step forward. Your parents, the war finished, the permit process and the restrictions were lifted.
They were able to buy a farm.
Buy a farm.
1947,
1947, they bought a farm, and where exactly was that farm?
where we still are now.
Basically on the junction of the Mirboo North Thorpedale Strzelecki Highway,
Yep.
right there.
Yep. Okay. I know where that. Obviously, everyone knows that farm, right? So that's where you settled. Okay, and then the 4 children were born here in Mirboo North,
Yeah. Prior to that, they were renting at 10 Mile Creek,
right?
which is Connie was born then,
Yes.
and then we came along. They bought the farm. 2 bachelor brothers owned it, the Needham brothers.
Yes.
It was pretty run down.
Well, Dad said that they had well over 200 or 300 acres. It was that full of blackberries and stumps. He said that they had about 40 sheep and they were starving.
Okay.
He said that tells you how much grass there was on there.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah.
He said
grass
the brothers actually made a living out by selling rabbits.
Okay. All right. So paint the picture. Your father and your mother took on a farm, bought a farm that wasn't usable as a farm
At the time, yes.
at the time. So the amount of work that would have gone into turning that into prosperous
It was an
land.
incredible amount. I mean, Dad always said, he said, I gave up the best years of my life bringing the farm into production.
Right.
And I think he did too.
Okay.
You know, a rain, hail or shine, he'd be out doing something, you know, pulling out, bloody, you name it. He was always out there. Very rarely did he take a break.
So I'd like now, we've painted the picture.
Yep.
There's a family. Over that time, 4 children born.
Yep.
All in Mirboo North.
Connie, Mary, Charlie, and I.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's then talk about the 4 children and Mum and Dad's influence, but starting school in Mirboo North and what it was like to be, children of 2 aspiring, an aspiring Italian couple who have taken on the farm.
Connie obviously started first in Mirboo North. She spoke no English.
Right.
She really struggled. She'd never talked about it, but a few cousins have said, she was maybe bullied at school because she didn't speak English. Very shy, very timid until she, Connie started in Mirboo North,
Yes.
and somewhere along the line, Charlie and Mary also started in Mirboo North,
Right.
and somewhere along the line we moved over to
Well, there was
Thorpedale.
too many kids in the Mirboo North State School at the time. So all the people that were sort of
We were on the edge.
on the outer edge
Oh,
of the
yeah,
of
okay.
the school
There
run.
was an invisible line.
Yeah, so we were
Still
diverted
is.
to Thorpedale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember I think it was in grade 1. And of course, no friends. I didn't know what was going on. And I'm wandering around the schoolyard at Thorpedale there, state school. And this kid, I presume he would have been a grade 5 or grade 6 because he was quite a bit bigger than everyone else. He comes out with a piece of plank, whacks the side of the school, thump, 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 and all the kids disappeared. And I'm still wandering around. What the heck was that for? Why was he belting the school for? And then about 15 minutes later, a teacher was walking past. Why aren't you in class? Well, I'm waiting for the bell to ring. The bell rang 10 minutes ago. I didn't hear it.
That was
All
the
I
bell.
saw was a kid banging the side of the school with a piece of wood. He said, that was the bell. We haven't got a real one. So,
Couldn't afford a bell. I just
and then I remember
smashed the building. Yeah.
I remember that one of the teachers came up with a ring gear out of an engine and they hung it up from an oak tree and they used that with a steel rod.
Right.
And that made a bit
Wow.
of a ding, ding, ding and it
Wow.
sounded a bit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was my first day at school there.
All right. So what was it? What was it like growing up in Mirboo North at that stage? I'm assuming that you would have been one of the only Italian families in Mirboo North at that stage.
There was a few around by then.
A couple around. Right.
Canetho family were here.
The Canizos, yep.
Yeah.
Bordnaros.
Bordnaros, yeah.
Yep.
Who else?
Tamanos. I think of. That's
Well,
about
they
it.
were the main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The Jadina family were here.
Yes. Okay, so
They'll
small
come in.
group. What was it like growing up in Mirboo North and going to school? And some in Mirboo North, some in Thorpedale. But let's skip through. I take it everyone went to Mirboo North High School?
Eventually,
we did.
yes. Yep.
Eventually, okay.
did,
So what were those years like?
I remember feeling a little bit, occasionally you get the odd bloke, oh, you're a wog, or it was a dago back then,
Yeah, right.
we were called. But, they soon got over it.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't worry me, it sort of went over the head. I mean, I didn't like it, but I never remonstrated against it.
You have to let it go.
You just had to let it go, otherwise you'd end up with 20 kids on top of you.
Right. Okay.
So, and eventually they said, oh, you're all right,
Yeah.
And then we'd swap sandwiches, and of course we'd have salami, and they go, what the heck's that?
Yes.
And of course we got a Vegemite or a jam sandwich back. I thought, what the hell's this stuff?
So there's some cultural
A bit of a
exchange.
cultural exchange, but eventually we all made friends, and I've still got great friends from state school and high school.
So, Mum and Dad are renowned in our community for being very supportive, as we said, of other families.
Yes.
Well, one thing, if I could just interrupt about that, you're just saying about Dad being supportive. I always remember growing up, we always had, how can I put it, returned soldiers that had come from the Second World War.
Yep.
And of course, back then there was no help to help them get over it, psychological and things like that. And Dad would hire them, whether they'd be dead drunk, and they would drink most of the time. And a lot of people would say, Tony, why the heck do you bloody employ those drunks? They don't work real well. And Dad said, every man has a right to feed himself and his family.
And that was the strength
Yeah.
of your father. And obviously your mother was testimony to that as well.
Yeah.
The stories that are written about your parents and the sponsoring of other families to come out to settle in Mirboo Northern District or wherever. And again, I'm making the assumption they were from the hometown or they were from Sicily.
Or somebody recommended them.
Okay, so let's talk. Can you work through?
Well,
that
mostly
with
what
us?
would happen is, say for argument, well, Dad couldn't write, so he couldn't get any advice, but Mum would write back home, dear sister or dear auntie, whoever she was writing to. We are living in a little town called Mirboo North. It's a beautiful setting, the farms are nice, and if you work hard, you can buy a farm, you can do this, you can do that. And then, of course, it would create a little bit of interest back in the hometown. So how do we get out there? And, of course, you had to sponsor them. You had to agree to give them employment for a certain amount of time. I can't remember how long it was back then. So eventually they'd get enough money and you'd sort of say, and this is why most of the people in Mirboo North are from the one town. Because,
Once.
Yeah,
South-
if you know what I mean.
It grows.
It grows, yeah.
That's
And so, you know,
sponsoring
your
chairman.
brother, and then he'd ask his brother and their cousin, and basically most of the people are from Mum's town here. There's a few from Dad's town, but not very many. They mainly ended up in the Gembrook area.
Right. Okay. So that sponsorship was for work, guaranteed work, and support then was given
Well,
to
what-
help
Integrate and integrate.
and integrate.
and once they got here, of course, they had a goal, and they could see the opportunity was here, because back in Italy, I mean, it was basically up until, well,
As
it was
well.
post-war, and especially when Dad left Italy, it was still basically the old feudal system where they had counts, barons, and they all owned massive tracts of lands, and you worked for the count or you worked for the baron, otherwise you went hungry.
Yep.
Unless you happened to, your father had left you a plot, but the plot
Small
might be
plot.
as big as this room,
Yeah.
and there'd be one here, one over there, one over there.
Yeah.
So it's not commercial, but of course they could see the opportunity when they came here, so they worked their butts off. And I remember at school, and it still sticks in my mind, and one of my friends goes, "Oh, we went on holidays, and we went here and we went fishing and we went that. What did you do?" And I said, "Oh, I just helped Dad in the farm." "Don't you Italians ever go on holidays?"
No.
I said, "No, well, we have to work." And he said, "Yeah, my dad's always complaining about how you people buy farms." So there was a message in there somewhere.
Yeah, go home and tell your father. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm not begrudging them having
no.
a holiday, but I mean, there was two different mindsets. They came with nothing, so they had to make something, and they felt like that was their life duty, and they did. And a lot of them, they ended up either potato growers, dairy farmers, or beef farmers.
Right.
And yes, and they're well established
And
in the area.
they weren't here long before they bought a farm.
Oh no, because they worked their butts off.
Dad would go out with them and they would check the lay of the land, value Dad's opinion,
Yep.
and he'll sort of channel them in the right direction.
Okay. So, and that's a wonderful legacy, and you know, to be able to do that, and then the integration then, and I'll use that word, but there's better
Yes,
ones
yes.
probably. The integration of the Italian community into what was traditionally a Anglo-Saxon
Yes.
mixture between wood cutting and farming
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Was there any? Was there ever a cultural war or a difficult time during that? Was it always just a
Mainly
good
during
blend?
the Second World War there was.
Right.
I remember Dad said that all the Italians would get picked on mercilessly. You know, they were called Mussolinis and you name it, whatever. And I remember once there was I can't remember the pub that Dad used to go to there, but down at, I think it was in Gembrook or thereabouts. And he said they used to get into fights because they get picked on, they try to leave it alone, and of course eventually it'd end up in a fight.
Yep.
And they had one of their friends was actually an ex-boxer, a very big bloke for an Italian,
Yeah.
and he'd say, "Right, guys, watch me back, and I'll take care of them all." And he used to flatten them all. So anyway, one day they waited for some revenge, and they had another fight, and they knocked this Australian bloke out. "We've killed him. What are we going to do? We're all going to end up in jail." So they dragged him off and they put him under a bridge down near Coralline somewhere in amongst the ferns. "We'll come back tonight and bury him." They went back that night and he'd gone. So he must have woken up and
Oh dear. Oh dear.
he
You
said,
didn't know that one about the family history.
"Oh
Gav
dear."
told
Oh,
me.
Grace, all families have got something here.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so let's step forward, if we can. The Italian community has been, in the last 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
very, very prominent in a major Mirboo North event.
I think from coming from the back
Yeah.
and then stepping forward. Yes.
Yes,
Stepping forward.
stepping forward. So let's talk about the celebration
Yes.
that has been and hopefully will continue.
You're talking about St Paul Festa?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what it is, back in Italy, basically every town has a patron saint.
Yep.
So the Italian community here, like I said, they're mainly from Mumstown, Solarino,
Yep.
and their patron saint was St Paul.
Yes.
And so a few of the older Italians sort of got together. Oh, remember back home we used to have the festival, this, that, with the saint, and of course. And then someone had the bright idea, why don't we try and have one here? But we haven't got a statue, so what if we can get the bishop to authorise a statue to come over? And you probably know more about that than I do as to how that worked out.
Probably
but
Monsignor Cunningham had a talk
that
to
who
the
it
bishop.
was?
Or he would have had a talk to the
Oh,
bishop.
that's right, yes. Yeah, so they got finally got a committee together, and I think there's one of the original committee members still alive, and
Sam Terranova.
Sam Terranova.
Okay, yes.
And they got a statue out and they organised it, and it was actually a spectacle. I think even the local population actually enjoyed something. There was bike rides up and like races up and down the street. We're not talking rides, races, flat chat, the greasy pole, the procession down the street.
You wore your very, very best outfit.
Oh, the very best outfit, yeah, and it turned into a tradition.
And then
really.
at night they would have a dance.
A
They would
dance,
go home and
Get frocked up.
get frocked up, that's the word. Get
Get
frocked.
frocked up and come back
But
to
it was,
Shire
but it
Hall.
was a very religious festival.
Yes.
It was very much in church, very religious, very much the community singing
Yes.
the traditional Christian songs, the Catholic songs, and then the procession down the street with the saint, the priest, and follow it down, singing all the way, and then originally they'd walk right down to the almost the service station down there,
Yes. Yes.
and then come back.
Okay.
Yeah, and after that there would be celebration,
Yep.
and then the dance that night.
And as someone who came to Mirboo North during that period 40 years ago, I'd been in that procession.
Have you?
Absolutely, I was. I'm not going to tell you what job I had. But my children were in
Security?
it and everything else.
Really?
Yeah. It was terrific. So that moved on to the St Paul's Festival, or the Italian Festival, sorry,
Yes.
but still
It morphed
very
to that, yes.
prominent to St Paul.
Yes.
St.
We've still
Paul.
got the saint, and he hasn't aged a day. He still looks exactly the same.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you touch up the paint every so often. Come on. So let's work through that, because the value culturally, I'm not saying financially, but the value culturally of that festival has been awarded right across our community,
Yes.
Victoria and Australia. To get around 20,000 people, 25,000 people into a town
That's incredible.
normally is about 2,000 people.
Yes.
Is the logistics of that is enormous. So, is it true that the reason for the growth of the festival is that the wives told the husbands to get out of the way? We'll do it.
I'm not commenting.
Well, actually, you're probably right there.
Yeah.
I mean, women
That's the story.
women are great organisers. I'll give them that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the men do what they're told.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
Yes, dear.
You have to admit they did very well.
Oh, fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
And let's hope that it can go
Yes.
every so many years
Yeah.
rather than every year. So that work's done. The Italian community has all the Italian families, I'll say, have been so influential in the development of Mirboo North over decades.
Yes.
Not just in their own farming life,
Yeah.
which has provided work
Yeah.
and opportunities for, community members, but for the support of so many organisations here in Mirboo North, and talking about sport, and we're talking about the schools and all the rest of it. So, what are some of the highlights in your mind,
To me, just watching it all integrate
right?
and coming from being a WOG or
The outsiders,
the
basically.
outsiders, yeah, to come in front and centre, being proud of who you are, being proud of being Sicilian.
Yep.
That's not the question you asked me though.
No, that's exactly, exactly, it's that integration and the pride
And it's been accepted.
and being accepted.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you believe, I mean, the families, there's generational changes that
Yes.
are going on, and you talk about your own, passing of your own father and that. And where do you think we're heading as a community? The influence, the multicultural influence now of Mirboo North.
How would you put that?
Eh?
Can I be frank?
Yeah, we want you to be frank because this is about
Well,
you.
I actually feel like the community's fragmenting. I really do.
Okay.
Mirboo North community?
Mirboo North, yes. It used to have the reputation as the best high school in many area. Now it's, well, not very well thought of. I hear there's a lot of petty crime which never existed in Mirboo North when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember, if you ever did something wrong, the local cop would grab hold of you by the scruff of the neck, a good swift kick up the bum, and then you got dragged in front of Dad. You got another one there. There's no... I don't live in Mirboo North, but I hear a lot of things,
Yep.
and it makes me a little bit sad
Right.
that it's, my
What's that?
kids, well, one of them was living here, but she's waiting for a house to get repaired after 2 years, still not done, after the storm. It just makes me a little bit sad that it's turned out that way.
Or is that just society heading?
I
that
think
way?
I think it
You
is,
think
yes.
you're right.
I'm not saying it's Mirboo North on its own, no.
It's
No,
not
it's-
Robinson Crusoe type.
No, and it's actually sad because you could bet everybody you met in the street, "G'day, how you going?" whatever. I used to remember Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
He was a terrific bloke. And he'd be walking along the street, I'd be on one side and he'd be 100 metres away. And he'd turn round if he spoke, "Hey, Charlie, has your wife left you yet?" "No." "Oh, poor woman, she must be suffering." It was all done in good fun, but, everybody would turn around and go, "What the heck was that about?"
Okay.
But, yeah.
All right. So, if by royal decree the two of you were made joint prime minister
Oh,
for one day,
We have different political opinions.
for one day,
there'd
you're
only be one left by the end of the day.
and you're allowed to make one major decision that you believe will influence the long-term success and prosperity of Mirboo North, what decision would you make?
I really have no idea, personally.
Well, I'm thinking maybe not what you want to hear, but I would give the parents the authority to teach and bring their kids up the way they should be.
Right?
The knowledge stuff.
Well, knowledge and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Knowledge and integration of
Yep.
knowledge, and that's
Yeah.
a full cultural
Yep.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, all right, and yourself, Grace?
I really don't know. Don't know.
You don't know?
know.
And,
Anybody over 5 foot being put down?
um,
You didn't hear that, did you?
permission to wear higher heels, but okay, that's all right. So, what I was trying to work our way through, the wisdom that your father and mother and Charlie, you spoke about it, where every man has a right
Yes.
To feed his family.
to feed his family.
Yeah.
Support and feed his family, and that's should be a natural birth.
Yeah, well, I remember even Dad, we used to employ Aboriginals, which was basically unheard of back when I was young. Yeah, he said, look, they've all got a right. If they want to work, they're certainly...
And they did work.
and they did work, yes.
They did work.
So if going down, you have a grandchild that you haven't met yet, they haven't been born, and they're going to watch this video of, you know, grandfather and great advice. If you had to look a future resident of Mirboo North or Victoria, Australia, in the eye and give them advice for the future, what would it be?
I would give him the advice my mother drummed into me. Treat others as you would have them treat you.
Be good to each other.
That's it.
Support each other.
Support
And
each other.
And she always said to me, and never forget, be kind to old people. Because if by the grace of God you get there, maybe one day they will be nice to you.
Yeah.
So basically the same thing.
It's
But
still
yeah,
about the same thing, isn't it?
it is.
About treat people,
respect.
the way in which you would like them to treat you, you treat them.
That's it. And you can't go
And
wrong.
what a wonderful legacy.
Yeah.
Can I thank you both for your time
My
today?
pleasure.
And is there anything further that you would like to add?
Oh, well, if I could add in a little bit
Yeah.
with Dad there.
Yeah.
Like I said,
We can edit this in.
Yep.
So, right.
He worked whatever jobs he could get. He actually, during the Depression, him and Uncle Angelo and I think one of the other brothers actually worked in the construction of the Emerald Lake
Oh, yeah.
with the horse scoops and that. And then to top it off, Dad
2
was,
years.
yeah, whatever it was. Then Dad had been a bit of a larrikin there. He decided he wanted duck for lunch. Anyway, so he took his shotgun out to Lake Emerald, mind you. It was an exclusive golf club by then. And shot some ducks. Of course, all the members come out and they wanted to arrest him. They called the police. They wanted to arrest him for shooting ducks on a private lake. So anyway, Dad's trying to argue, but I did it because the ducks were pooping in the water. And he's trying to argue, and the members wanted to lynch him, basically. Yeah. And he said this distinguished gentleman came out, and he made his way to the front. And he goes, okay, now he explained to me what happened, and he did. And I think he's sincere, okay. And Dad did know him, and he got to know him very well later, and he pulled him aside, and he said, oh, what do you do? And he said, oh, by the name, my name is William Trigonow, and he was actually an industrial, wealthy industrialist. Williamstown, he helped build that.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
And Dad ended up working for him. He said to him, look, I've got a little farm up at, I think it was near Cockatoo somewhere. He said, it's covered in ferns. Do you think you could grow potatoes on it? And Dad said, oh, yes. Well, he said, oh, first of all, you have to plough, do this, you know. He goes, okay, you've got the job. And Dad said, I haven't got any money, I haven't got any horses, I haven't got a plough, I haven't got any potatoes, and I haven't got any seed, any super. And the old bloke said, look, I'll tell you what, I'll finance you till the crop grows and you can pay me then. So that's what got Dad started.
Okay.
And he said, if it hadn't have been for that man, he said he never would have put enough money together to buy property.
To do that. So, is the moral of the story is, if you're going to shoot ducks, do it on a private lake.
That's it, where there's someone that's pretty well off. Yeah, no, Dad said, you know, we had a couple of wonderful years working for that man. He said, absolutely.
The gentleman.
A real gentleman.
Yeah.
Real gentleman.
Well, he must have saw something in your father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in 1998, I went to Italy my first time.
Yeah.
I went to Dad's town.
So the first thing she had to do.
Went to Dad's town. They were so poor. They're not poor now.
I thought you were going to say you went to where they keep all the records of the registry to make sure it was spelled double D, and it was.
That was later. But I met up with the area that Dad came from. So poor, so arid. The house was a shamshackle where they live now, you know, old stone building. I met a man there, which he didn't know Dad, but he lived in that area up the hill. Yeah. And he said to me, he was an older man, he said to him, people like your father that left this town in the 1920s, earlier, he said that they left. We were starving. He said when they left, they did well. They would send money regularly back home and support the families.
Yeah.
Through this, the town has now prospered. He said we never would be where we are now if it hadn't been for the migrants that supported the town, that left,
They
supported
left.
the town.
Supported the town.
Yeah.
Oh, when he supported the town, like, you know, there'd be
Financially.
mum or brothers or whatever.
Yeah.
And they,
You support them who then...
of course, they've got
funds
money to
it.
spend
Yeah,
and it
that's
flows in
right.
the community,
Yeah,
yes.
so
Yeah.
it was through the family being able to...
No social services.
Yeah, no social.
Yeah.
Isn't that a wonderful thing?
Yeah, yeah, it was lovely.
It
Yeah.
was a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. for
Thank you,
today.
Joe.